Bandwidth for First Updates Now is supported by the Blue Alliance. Keep up to date on all live and archived First Robotics events and team stats at thebluealliance.com.
People are interested.
But you know what? If you send me an email, you'll get a response, and it will be from me.
And I really don't have any desire to.
You haven't watched the trailer at all?
No.
A lot of people haven't heard of the couch division, so
It's a comfy division to be in, though.
it's super comfy. It's almost too comfy at times.
Your response to teams who see that as a new potential issue with districts?
Yeah, that's really a two-pronged question.
Let's see if there's any damage from that fall. There was. They snapped. 330. Still on their back. 6 seconds to go.
Or was the highest ranked, but then as votes continue to pour in, everything kind of changed around a little bit. So we forget about
First Updates Now is brought to you by AnyMark. Are you competition ready? Count on AnyMark to be your source of batteries, gears, transmissions, and more. Go to anymark.com and keep your team inspired. And by Twitch. Fun is now a Twitch partner and offering some awesome subscriber-only benefits. Subscribe today or get a free subscription each month when you have Amazon Prime by linking your account and clicking subscribe. Good evening. Coming up on First Updates Now recap, Michigan State Championships have expanded to 160 teams and taken a new direction for its playoffs. We'll discuss tips to wrap up your build season and beyond. Ben Martin joins us from 225 TechFire, and we also have two FRC teams that we'll be getting build recaps from. Reporting for First Updates Now recap, I'm Tyler Olds.
And I'm Mike Starke.
I'm Justin Montois, and let's introduce our guest for tonight's show. Welcome to recap, Ben. I want to talk a little bit about your FRC history.
Sure. I'm Ben Martin. I started as a student on 234. Moved to 1747 for college, and I've been with 225 for the last 5 years. This year, more remotely, but yeah, it's been a blast. Glad to be on. Thanks for having me.
And Ben, you recently just got engaged into loyalty or into royalty here, right? Because world champions that you're engaged with. So on 2041.
Yeah, my previous girlfriend, now fiance Heather, it was her first year in FRC actually. And then she's world champion the first year. It's the most ridiculous thing, but there you go.
What team was she with?
Oh, 2041.
Robotics.
Yeah.
Robotics.
Yes,
Robotics. Congratulations.
Yeah.
On multiple levels. Awesome. Cool, Ben. Well, thanks so much for being on the show tonight. We really appreciate that. And also, kind of working in the background, we have an awesome FRC robot drawing from Kristine Atia from FRC 125, the Neutron. So, Kristine, thanks once again for being on the show. And what robot are you working on today?
I am working on Team 971 from 2016, one of the most ridiculous robots ever to grace the presence of FRC.
I actually think that's one of the Transformers in the next movie.
Oh, definitely.
And Christina will actually be giving away this awesome 971 drawing at the end of the show. So make sure you're watching live. Also, you do need to follow us. So just click that little follow button up in the corner as well, too. We'd appreciate it, and it gets you a chance in there. And Kristine, near the end of the show, we'll be coming up with a key phrase for you to type in and spam as much as you can, and that will get you an entry for the drawing. She'll actually send that to you. And I think we got a new rule that guests can't win this week, right?
Yeah, as cool as it would be, right?
Ben's out of luck.
Yeah, sorry, Ben.
Dang it.
So our first and really awesome discussion topic for the night is going to be about the changes to the Michigan State Championship. So they just announced a really exciting change, moving to a different venue, the Saginaw Valley State College. So this event now is going to include 160 teams, which is insane for a non-championship event. Non-world championship event, I should say. 4 simultaneous fields running at the same time. And each division winner is going to face off in an Einstein-like environment for the state championship. So that's really cool. So growing from 102 teams last year in one division, 16 alliances. So Ben, as a kind of MSC district person, I know you're in Mar, but are you excited to hear about that? And you think we might see this headed Mar's way soon?
Oh, I think it's a long way from Mars way. Mars been kind of semi-stagnant in growth for the last 3 or 4 years, so we're probably a long way off from that. But I think it's really cool for Michigan. I think it's cool that they're growing so fast. I think it's nice that they're able to provide the state level experience and maybe even almost like a pseudo championship experience even at the local level like they are there. And I hope as First expands, we can provide more of these types of experiences to more teams.
Very cool. So, Justin and I don't know, Justin, do you remember what year of Michigan State Championship it was that we went to?
2011.
Was that like what year of them doing it? It wasn't the first year, right?
No, it wasn't the first
Second
year.
or third, maybe. But anyway, MSC is an awesome event, and just going to just the live coverage they have now with TV and Jim Zondag and all that. Having just making this change to 160 teams, I think it's just that much cooler. And this is a kind of what we thought a few years ago, what would be happening around the country. And it just hasn't got to that level yet, but it's really kind of cool to see Michigan taking that step. And it's really hard to fathom that they have this many teams that are able to do this in one state. It's just awesome to think about. So very cool. They essentially have half of a division with 160 teams that will be there, but kind of in more intimate play. They can just really divide those up into 40 team divisions, which will kind of be really cool. I think kind of more like a regional, but very cool. I love it.
So a couple things come to mind. One you mentioned with the growth of RoboZone in that state and what they're doing in there. I mean, how cool is it, first off? And I know it's a little bit off topic, but to have a robotics show on your Fox Sports station. You can go to the Buffalo Wild Wings and watch robotics play. That's pretty awesome. I dig that. By the way, with 160 teams there, I had to think about man, I wonder where at championships there were when was it at that level about 160 teams? And that was, I just looked it up. It's in 1999 they had 178 teams at championships, and in 1998 they had 119. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, so it's nuts to think about that. The Michigan State Championship now has more teams than what 1998 champs did, and almost as many as what 1999 champs did. Wow. That's just crazy. So that's
pretty amazing.
Yeah, excuse me. So with MSC, there's a couple things that pop into my head, and I kind of want to get your guys' opinions on these. Is one, I'm all for having 160 teams as state champs. I mean, to me, that's really that fulfillment of that level of getting people to understand, specifically in Michigan, the importance of getting the state champs and how cool that is. Go from districts to championships or state champs to champs. And people, I think, who aren't familiar in First can start to understand that picture a little bit more versus my thing with being in a traditional event structure area is that it's really hard to it's really hard to describe saying, hey, we're going to regionals. Like that already sounds like you advanced a level in many cases. And I think Michigan has that structured out really well. I think it's going to be really exciting. Instead of, I talked to Jim Zondag, and one of the things that, they said that would be nice is instead of having, essentially one division with 100 some odd teams and then waiting for one field to get done to start the other. And if something goes wrong, they have to wait. Now they can just run 4 simultaneous fields and they don't have to wait for one field to get done. They can just keep on going. And if an issue happens in one field, it doesn't bottleneck every other field. So I think that's a really smart move on their end. One thing that I want to get your opinion on is with 40 teams in each of these divisions now, and I hope they call them divisions, not subdivisions, is it watering down the alliances a little bit? You have all these fantastic teams at MSC. I think by the time we get to whatever they call their final Einstein field, I don't know if we're going to see as high level of play as we have in previous years because you're not going to have that depth that you would have from other alliances back last year where you had octofinals or something like that. You had a bit more depth in regards to your alliances. I don't know if we're going to see that same depth when it gets to the finals for Michigan State. What do you guys think?
So how many alliances were in MSC previous?
There were 16 alliances last year.
16 alliances. And then this coming year, let's do the math, will be how many? 4 divisions?
32.
32. So, So I see what you're saying there, Tyler. That's interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's 2x as many, but at the same time, if you look at how champs alliances have gone, I mean, the last time we had this many alliances at Worlds, right, was in 2014. And looking back, I don't think the alliances, I mean, teams have gotten progressively better and better with more COTS, better RI3D, basically everything, right? And it's really the play's really enhanced dramatically over the last few years. I think a few years it's going to catch up. It'll dip to start with now, but it'll come back up. Personally, yeah.
So this in the chat, PC Pat 67 says won't be as competitive by the time we get to divisions. Won't be as competitive, but the divisions playing each other might be a little more exciting, maybe. Than I don't know. Like to kind of like zoom out a little bit further, and might be completely off topic, but with the addition to like these state championships, do you think it's an unfair advantage for these teams going into two champs? That they have all this experience now, all these many more matches? Because we've talked about it before. You have potentially a team that has only played one regional is now competing in St. Louis or in Houston or whatever, versus teams that have now gone through a whole state championship and is now going to play for Worlds. It's just kind of, I don't know.
Justin, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think it's unfair. I actually would argue that might be a disadvantage because it's a lot harder to build a robot to play 150 matches than it is to build a robot to play 50 matches. So there's a lot more attrition on robots, and that, I mean, there's both ways to look at it. Is it unfair that teams have financial advantage, opportunities to build practice bots and have practice fields? There's disparity all over FRC.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. To get back to what Howard mentioned about the watered down alliances, I think just nature of the beast is going to happen a little bit, but I also think it'll give teams that, some of those lower level teams a little bit of an encouragement to pick up their game because they know that, there's going to be
there's more chances now.
Yeah, that need for depth, and I think MSC is all about. They want the Michigan teams to be the best in FRC. So I think there's just another step in that direction. And I really liked what Ben said about the pseudo championship. I think I'm not sure 2 champs is going to last forever. And we might be, once everyone is in districts, we might be going toward a system that the state championship is the world championship for most teams. And then the world championship is that one next level. So.
Did they get into the details about alliance? Are they going to pick 4 teams per alliance? Do you know?
No, it's 3. I'm pretty sure it's 3 teams per alliance.
That's 24 out of 40 teams per division will be making.
So a couple things that come up, and we need to move on in a couple minutes. But how does the point structure work? I haven't seen if that's been released yet. Because previously, you'd get points based on where you're drafted. So I'm curious how that works going into 4 different divisions. The other thing is, too, and chat's been talking about, is how the hell do you scout for 4 divisions like that? I mean, I guess it's like championships, right?
Same way you do at champs.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. Ben, what do you guys prepare for scout? Like, how would you tackle that challenge?
Well, we've never been fortunate enough to be on Einstein yet, but I'd talk to a friend in each division. Yeah.
Well, Justin, you were on Einstein last year. How did you guys approach it? Or how did your alliance approach it?
The 4th robot?
No,
scouting 4 divisions.
Scouting.
Oh yeah, Ben, we call the friend. Actually, having OP on our alliance, they have a lot of Canadian friends, and they really helped out a lot. Actually, I had people who were watching the webcast at home texting me, hey, we just watched 987 and company in their division. This is something you might look out for. So I had a lot of help.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing. Is you just got to have the right friends that you can kind of rely on. I mean, I would surmise there might be some network or teams that put together scouting data, that sort of thing. But I think overall that's you just got to. It's almost just a word of mouth. I mean, by the time you get to Einstein, all the teams are good, right? So it's like you got to find those little minute things that, like, having your friend call you and maybe give you a little bit of that extra strategy. But each alliance is going to score a lot. That's just the way it's going to be for something like that. So, all right, let's move on here. So we have 2 teams calling in today, and we're awesome to get a recap on how their robot progress is, and to give us their impressions of Steamworks and how they like it so far as we're coming into the final week here, guys. We got next Tuesday. I'm sure for Ben and Justin, you're more than dreading that day coming up soon. But Stop Build Day, Bag Days coming up soon. So our first team is going to be from 5036, the Robo Devils. Let's get Sohaib. I'm going to mispronounce it every time. I'm sorry. Get him on the line, and we'll check in with this progress. I feel so bad about that. I do that every time. Mike, do you remember at Champs, man, like on 1241, just me butchering the names? That was bad stuff. So, all right. So hey, while we're
1241 and a couple of the members of their team, and
yeah, we had made a couple strategic cuts. But hey, while we're getting him on, and I'll add him in here. Justin, why don't you tell us a little about Premiere Night coming up soon?
And Mike can certainly jump in on this too.
Yeah.
But that's something that we talked about, a few years ago. Just teams are really starting to come out with robot release videos, and we thought they were really cool. So it'd be fun to have a bunch of teams submit their videos to us, and we'd bring a few hundred people together and watch these videos. And it turned out to be a great thing. We just can't encourage enough teams to participate because we can't have a show without your participation. So as build season comes to a close and you start thinking about your robot release video, keep us in mind, and Mike can talk as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a vision that we had a few years ago, and it's kind of evolved. And I really appreciate Tyler and Nick coming on board with that and doing it with us and for us. We say this every year, the biggest thing Justin and I get the biggest kick out of is seeing pictures and tweets and everything of your teams making a night of this. And the Bomb Squad does it well, and there's many other teams out there that do it very well. It's just like kind of like an end of build season, almost like celebration kind of that teams are treating it as. There's everybody piles into a room at the school and orders food, brings in food, and just kind of just watches the show and just kind of celebrates the successes of your season, sees what other teams are up to, and it's really a really special night, I think, and it's more of just kind of that. It's more of just seeing what everybody else has been doing and kind of just celebrating in the build season, getting ready for competition season. So we're very excited about Premiere Night. You can just catch all the details, and hopefully your team will submit, and we'll have a good time with it.
Yeah, and those details.
Tower, how many viewers did we have last year?
So total viewers between YouTube and live, we had close to 10,000. And now with our Twitch partnership. And we've already been told we're going to be featured for Twitch, either most likely in the community channel. But I mean, for our Robot in 3 days, I mean, we did 200,000 viewers for that. So if you can imagine in that block of time what we're looking at for that, I mean, we're probably going to do, I would think, a good 20,000 viewers on that. So if you think you can get 20,000 on your own, please go ahead. There are some teams that do that. If you want that opportunity, submit. You can go to firstupdatesnow.com for the submission info, or we have it tagged in the user announcements on Chief Delphi as well. So and even if the one thing, and I know we got to move on, the video doesn't have to be perfect. We know that. Make it something that's representative of your team. Have some fun with it, and let's just have a good time. We already have some viewer parties. I've already been notified set up, so we'll be sure to check in with them this year.
Those are the coolest things. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so Heb, so welcome. Thanks for coming on once again from team number 5036 out of Canada. Before we get into your robot and stuff, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do on your team? What's your experience?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm a first-year mentor on Team 5036. I joined in 2014, which was our first season, our rookie season. We got the rookie all-star that year. I've since graduated in 2016, and I'm currently studying mechatronics and, like I said, first-year mentor back.
Very cool. I was just up in Canada, actually, skiing at Blue Mountain up there.
It's nice up there.
Yeah, it's very cool. So it was a good time. So thanks for being on the show. So hey, it's really nice to have you. So big news that came out a little while ago with Ontario going into districts this year. So are you personally excited? Is your team excited about that? About at least guaranteeing at least two events instead of one. And how do you feel? Kind of what's the pulse of your team and kind of the pulse of Ontario about kind of really heading into this competition season about going to districts?
No, generally, a lot of teams are fans with the district system, especially for our team, which we've typically just gone to the one event every year. Right. Well, we've only gone to the one event every year. It's really nice to be able to compete twice. And like we see from competitions, teams improve over competitions. Right. So we obviously get that chance now. Also, with the events in Ontario being so small, the 24th pick sometimes gets rewarded at events. And we feel the district system gives a lot more chances to a team like ours for going to champs.
Very cool. That's really good insight.
So, let's talk about your robot a little bit. So you're nice enough to send us some pictures and some video. So tell us about kind of the strategy that you guys are designing the robot around and the progress you made so far and where you hope to be a week from now.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the build season, we obviously looked at our resources, and in the past 3 years, we've obviously shot way too high. So this year we've straight away ruled out we're not going to be shooting balls. You won't see 50-36 shooting balls in the high goals. That's just not what it is. So our strategy obviously revolves around gears because what we wanted to do this year was go to championships. And to get there, we feel like a gear robot that has a fairly reliable climber, it'll be able to do that. This season, we actually did a lot of prototyping, especially on our gear mechanisms and stuff like that. Because we basically want to be the best gear robot we can be, and that's one of our prototypes there. We're trying to basically have sort of a side scoring sort of idea, but that didn't work out. And then we tested, that's our floor intake on there. We're just testing how that works. So there's a lot of prototyping that happened this year. That's something we haven't done in past years because we haven't had the time and or resources. And we had a little more shop time this year, so definitely made sure everything was a bit more polished on the prototype before we actually put it on the main robot.
Kind of bummed that the side release on the gear mechanism didn't work. That's cool. I never thought of that.
Yeah. That's cool.
So one thing I got to ask you, and I kind of get your opinion, as you mentioned, you're not going for the fuel. And one of the things I think that is a very good decision on your end is you have to kind of put that focus on what is the next step for you, right? And right now in a district situation, it's your guys' goal to get the district championships, right? And then from there, then we worry about getting to the world championships for that. So when you guys look back, can you elaborate a little bit more when you look at strategy and when you guys first sat down on making that decision in regards to that? I know you mentioned a little bit, but let's get a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah, so we looked at we were looking at that additional RP, and from our analysis, we wouldn't be able to put up 120 balls in the high goal or the 360, I believe it is, in the low goal. So we ruled that out. We just didn't think it was possible for our team. And with gears, obviously, no team can solo put up 12 gears. But like our team last year and at off-season events, we've generally been able to get to the quarterfinals, but we haven't been able to get past. So the gears is also like a playoff strategy because if you get the 12 gears and your alliance doesn't, we feel like that's basically the game right there. You're not going to make up that difference with fuel very easily at all. So that was the decision that basically went behind that. And then obviously, we feel like that'd be able to hopefully get us to the district championships. And with Ontario, we have the 29 slots at district championships. So effectively, if you make eliminations at district championships, you'll be going to championships.
Interesting.
So I Ben, just can't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to ask Ben what you thought about their robot and their strategy and how they're going about that.
No, I think it's pretty spot on. I think that the fuel task this year is it takes up a tremendous amount of space in your robot and engineering complexity in your robot in order to do it really well. So I think for a lot of teams, and it sounds like for you guys, you made the correct strategic decision for you.
Yeah, and I really respect that. I think we can all rattle off, a dozen team names and numbers that should have that self-awareness of, having an honest look at our resources. What are we capable of? And going in that direction. So, I really respect that ability to be honest in that.
There's many 10 and 12-year teams that still don't grasp that, so.
Yeah, right.
Having that there is very cool. So.
All right, so I'm sorry, go ahead, Nim.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was just going to say you can convert all that time that you would spend on fuel into drive time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. All right, man. Hey, before we let you go, and thank you so much for coming on. Anything you want to let us know about what's coming up with your robot, or any big things coming up for you in the future?
Well, we'll be competing at the Durham College event and the Ryerson event in Ontario. So that's week 1 and 2 in Ontario, and hopefully we'll catch us at district championships as well.
All right. Wait, I gotta ask, why week 1 and week 2, man? That's early.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically our idea was if we're going to go for a simpler robot, which we actually decided before the season, before teams can improve on their other mechanisms, we felt it was just that sort of golden opportunity for us during week 1 and 2 to basically do as well as we can.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like that.
That's fair.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for coming on the show, and we'll check in with you during the season. We'd love to talk to you again.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Yep.
Take care, bud.
Justin, give me a goodbye.
Bye.
Oh.
No. No, from Stanley.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Tyler's gone.
It's like he said goodbye and then hung
there
up.
You go.
He's like, give me a goodbye. Okay, click, I'm gone.
He did.
We might never see Tyler again.
This is kind of what it was on. We were just talking about that our champ show with all of you guys gone and be like, oh, who's here? And
are we back?
We off air. Oh, gotcha. Nick says we're still on air, so talk about something interesting.
I just to go back to what we were just talking about, and I don't know if they're a Canadian team and they've been heavily influenced by 11-14 and Karthik, but what he was talking about was like exactly what Karthik preaches in all of his presentations, right? Look at your team's resources, honestly evaluate them, and make your decisions based on that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just think that every FRC team on the planet, if they did that, everyone would be so much better. Even the cheesy poofs, right?
Yeah.
They honestly evaluate the resources, which they do very well. They're like, we have access to machine shops and powder coating, and we should build great robots, and they do.
Yeah.
It's just really
well, I love what he. That's I mean, not only for the robot wise, but then to go the next step and then decide about which competitions to go to, because he's absolutely right, and he talked about it. How many times year after year do we see teams getting so much better, teams then emulating and copying, like whether it's the mini bots or whether it's climbing lash or whatever, like making additions based on what other teams are doing, simple additions that can really accelerate that, but they're going to kind of bypass that whole curve and then have like 4 or 5 weeks to implement those things after they punch their ticket to district championships, So I think that's I'm really excited for them. I'm really have to follow up on that, because I think they nailed, not only making that decision robot wise, but then, really seeing that opportunity in week 1 and 2. While it is sometimes and always is like a disadvantage, it can also be an advantage for a team who's coming out of the gate and is going to perform really well.
Yeah, I know it's like exact opposite what our strategy is, where our robot's never ready before week 2 of competition, right?
Right.
So yeah, a lot of props for that, because there's if you're building a simple robot to accomplish the game task and you're ready to beat it before everyone else to the punch there, good for them. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. I actually thought I hung up on everybody. Yeah, thanks. The call still kept going, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's rad. No, that's what happens when I think I hung up and I think our guest did at the same time. So I tried hanging up on him. So where are we at? I'm sorry.
I thought it was like a mental lapse. You're like, say goodbye, and then you're like, goodbye, and then click up.
All right. So what are we talking about, guys? I'm sorry.
We were just continuing to give props to our guests for the decision that they made. Just being able to honestly evaluate resources and even going so far as to select, your event strategy, competing week 1 and week 2 on purpose. Just kind of a really smart thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I think that's sometimes a hard decision to make is getting that, at what level do you feel that you're going to be fully capable at? And I like the idea of going week 1, week 2, actually. If they think they can have that tactical advantage, why not, All right, so before we do get into our other discussion and our next guest, let's take a short break to thank our amazing sponsor for this show. You know them, you love them. It's AnyMark. Build season is coming to an end, and we know that most teams are tunnel visioned in getting their robot done on time. Right, Ben? Right, Justin?
Absolutely.
Don't forget about the crucial role that bumpers play on the robot this year. AnyMark has everything that you need to make a sleek set of bumpers. From pool noodles to awesome red and blue bumper material to brackets and vinyl numbers, all you have to do is supply the wood and let AnyMark supply the rest. I also want you to check out a new product actually this year. I thought this was really cool. I found this on the AnyMark site. And I'm like, wow, I wish we would have had this last year on 2026 when we were in the ninth match of our eliminations and our motors kept overheating on us. So we would have known a little bit more. But the new AnyMark thermal sticker is now out and available. It's economical thermal sticker designed to indicate the temperature of any surface that your team might be concerned about getting hot. So from its sim motors, the targeting lights, to a hot cup of coffee, maybe a First Updates Now host. You got to know how hot they are. Pick up a 10-pack. It's Valentine's Day, guys. We got to do this stuff. Pick up a 10-pack of these for a really, really great price at AndyMark. You can do this by heading over to andymark.com. And don't forget to check out their deal of the day. And a huge thank you to AndyMark for helping make First Updates Now content happen. AndyMark would like to wish a successful season to all teams. And don't forget, as we get into competition season, there will be events that AndyMark has to ship to pit. So make sure you check that out because you can get parts shipped right to your pit at certain events. Thanks, AndyMark.
Very much cool. And what a cool product that is, thermal stickers. I love it.
I know, right?
Very cool. I bet you'll be seeing them a lot on Robots this year. So thanks to Sohaib again from 5036 for coming on. And we're back with Ben Martin from 225 TechFire. So Ben, as build season is wrapping up, this can be a huge push. This last crunch, long nights, they're every day. And this kind of fatigue starts to sit in. And I know you guys are aware that the end of build season, not build day, really isn't the end of build season. As you guys continue to kind of improve your robot and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, in no way is it the end.
Yeah, for sure. So as we look to this last week and beyond, what advice do you have from your experience for teams just to kind of keep driving forward and keep pushing forward in the weeks to come and kind of not get that burnout?
Keep up those intermittent successes because, you have to keep everyone mobilized and inspired to keep going, right? I mean, the build season's a marathon. There's so much, and it's so easy to get down. And, if you don't know the way you're going, you can, it's like, oh man, how do we do this? And, sometimes you just gotta press through that. And like, prepare your withholding allowance, right? There's not like, this is something that we do all the time that not enough teams do that I think they could, is you essentially build 90 pounds of your second robot, and whatever the business scoring end of your robot is, you build just one of them, and then you keep it less than 30 pounds and just swap them between both robots. We've done that for the last 2 years. I mean, it works great, and then you only have to tune the programming of one set of sensors, Nice. I think, and it's a lot of things that teams could do right now. If you could set yourself up for that, I think that's the best choice for many teams, especially teams that are building second robots and not necessarily sure what to do with their second robot. If you keep the business end the same, that's one less failure point that you need to worry about.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Justin? What tips do you offer up to teams, or what do you guys do on 3015?
I could use some tips to avoid being exhausted right now. I'm a little late to the game on that. But I think it's important, even though I don't do it very well, just find time to disconnect and take a mental break from it. It can be.
What better way than premiere night, right?
Am I right?
Yes.
But burnout is real. And especially, coming from a mentor teacher perspective, if you see a student who is clearly like struggling, and, a lot of our students feel bad if they miss meetings, but just make sure that everyone's comfortable communicating. And if a student or mentor or anyone just like, I just need to take a night off and just for myself and get homework done or just get to bed early. Build season is a marathon. And it's important to keep going and making sure you're mentally ready to go for the meeting. It doesn't do anybody any good for you to come to a meeting if you're exhausted and not going to be firing on all cylinders. You'd be better served, everyone, to go home, get some rest, and come back recharge the next meeting.
Right.
So Justin and I were talking pre-show a little bit too, and Justin, you have your own makeshift bed actually at your school, don't you?
Yeah, it's right. You can show it to you. It's right back there.
Yeah.
So
live from the teacher's lounge.
Yes, perfect spot, right? So one thing I want to point out a couple of things. Actually, FRC Nation just came out with a cool blog post actually called 7 Ways to Improve Your Robotics Life Balance. So definitely give that a recommendation read to go through. But overall, coming from my end, from when I was active, from an administrator side on things, is that if you're an administrator team, it's just constant. It never ends on something like that. But a lot of it is I follow a method I call servant leadership for things, where it's always what can I do to enable you to do your job better, do your things better, that sort of thing. And I think that helps teams succeed in regards to that. And that's something I think is very critical, especially when you get to this point where, especially kids, if you think of freshmen and sophomores who are in their first year of this, who don't necessarily, that light bulb hasn't clicked yet because they haven't been to an event or something like that. You got to put yourself in their shoes and try to figure out ways to do things. One of the things that I used to do, or that my team used to do when I was in high school on Team 93, New Apple Corps, we used to play a game called Trench Ball, which was like dodgeball, right? And we just take a break occasionally. Yeah. It's okay to do that. Even in the heat of this build season where it's hectic, it's just, so much going on. There's so much stress. You got to work the whole time. You really just got to step back and realize that taking an hour break to potentially give you more hours of productivity is more than worth it than having somebody operate at 10% efficiency all night. So you got to find ways to recharge for something like that. And I think the easy thing that happens too at this time is things start going wrong. And it's very easy to point the finger at other people and very easy to point the blame, especially those darn programmers all the time. They always complain they don't have enough time for things. But
it's literally always the programmers.
Yes, it is. But just getting those time management areas and just looking at the big picture and stepping back and realizing that, what happens tomorrow isn't probably going to be detrimental to it. You got to take that whole week in stride and think about what you're going to do that way.
Well, and like Justin said, if you have a student that's kind of mentally checked out or is like he's really stressed out because he's got schoolwork he's behind on, like go take care of your schoolwork, or like you're going to be in the shop when you're mentally not there. Like that's not safe. Like you're going to be using like heavy machinery when you're just not like your best. That's not going to help you or anybody. So great points, Paul.
Absolutely. So and good luck to teams going into their final week or so. We know what this is like, and as we mentioned, if you want to be a higher end team or you want to get towards that, your build season probably shouldn't be done. There's a lot. Even if you didn't build a practice robot, there are a lot of things you can still do to still prepare your team. That's something we can go into in a different show. But there's a lot you can still be doing. You really should not be stopping. If you're fine with the level you built, that's okay. But I think the whole point of FIRST is to continue iteration throughout the entire competition. Hopefully we'll realize that one day with no more bag day, right?
The sticker on my laptop. Sticker on my laptop says I'll sleep in May.
We need to make a T-shirt out of that, unless there already is one, because that's awesome.
Sell those on the Fun website.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Those are plans. So we got one more guest coming on, Justin, I think, right?
We do. So let's see if we can get to. Oh boy, Kevin like Davin, from 133 BERT out of Standish, Maine. BERT was a division finalist last year and ranked 24th on the final FRC top 25. So we're excited to have him on. We'll get him going.
Yeah, we'll get that on in just a moment there. While we're waiting for Kevin to join, though, I do want to give a huge thank you to all of our subscribers and donors of First Updates now. And we'll read off your names at the end of the show because it's really important for those who followed us today, for those who subscribed to us today. We really do appreciate that. And, from a transparent speaking area, we're really trying to transition into how do we get more benefits on the Twitch to give you value for what you're doing. So Fun is now a Twitch partner. So if you want to become a part of Fun Nation, an official member of it, go ahead and click that subscribe button that's on your upper right-hand corner. If you got Twitch Prime, you do get it for free, actually. You have to resubscribe every month, so that is a little bit of a pain in the butt. Or if you got $4.99 around each month, we would definitely appreciate it. We have a couple badges out right now. We're going to have emoticons that are coming very, very soon. We have somebody helping us with design for that. So those are coming very soon. And a couple events that we want to tell you about. We have a huge announcement coming up on premiere night, first off. So we'll kind of tease that a little bit. But for subscribers, we're going to have some different gamer plays. We're going to start playing some video games on this channel too. If you can go ahead and play with us, you can play with other First members that are in the community. So we have a lot coming up as well. So thank you to every single one of you who are helping support this. As I mentioned, that huge announcement coming up on premiere night. If you're a subscriber, you're going to get a little sneak peek ahead of time to that. We're really, really, really excited for this coming up soon. So it's going to be huge, guys. We're really, really excited. So we'd like to welcome on Kevin Shepard from Team 133 BERT. Kevin, you guys were a perennial high-end team last year, and going into this 2017 season, let us know a little bit about yourself before we get into your robot.
I'm a junior. I'm a junior in high school. It's my second year on the team, and ever since I joined the team, I just fell in love with the program, and my passion's been growing ever since build season last year.
Very cool. Is that thanks for coming on, Kevin. Has that affected your are you going into your career plans at all? Has that affected your career plans going forward?
Oh yeah, for sure. And thank you for having me. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do before I joined the team, but as of now, it's looking like I'm going to do some kind of engineering. I'm not too sure yet, but
very cool.
I'll decide that along the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Very cool. Thanks, man. So coming off this awesome season last year with your division finalist award, how is BERT handling that? I know we talked to Justin a little bit earlier this season about that, but how is BERT handling it? Kind of keeping that momentum going and kind of, trying to look to get back in that spotlight this coming 2017 season.
Well, we lost about half our team because they were seniors last year, and it was a little nerve-wracking because we weren't sure we were going to be able to find success like that. But since we did so well, it really helped with getting our name out there, and we replaced a lot of the seniors with freshmen and sophomores.
Cool.
And it was really amazing last year to see a low-resource team like ours, with only 2 or 3 full-time mentors, be one match away from being the captain of Nine Star Alliance.
That's wow. That's great. So we have a few pictures of your robot. Looks like things are starting to come together. So can you give us a little bit of inside info, kind of like what we went through before, talking some strategy? What did you guys think of earlier in the season, and how is the robot starting to come together?
We knew right from the back that that Gears would be the ones, especially early in the season, to win matches, and we knew we wanted to do that. But we knew that along the line, even though the point total between Gears and Fuel was so fast, we knew that the 40 KPA would help us see where we wanted to be, and we decided ultimately that we wanted to complete all the tasks that the game gave us with a simple and effective design, including the kit parts frame. And we've decided these past couple of years to go with simplicity because it allows for less to go wrong and more time to fine-tune and tweak things, and also more time for programming and driver practice. And also that helps with the practice robot.
I'm kind of echoing Sohaib here.
Yeah. So you guys built the catapult last year. Are we expecting to see catapult fuel and catapulting the gears across the field again?
We thought about it.
But no, huh?
But no.
No.
Can you dive a little bit more? We're showing the robot picture right now of what you guys sent us. Where are you guys exactly at right now? Where are you looking at getting the next couple of days, and any major design changes coming up or anything like that?
We're about 75% done so far. We've had a little bit of setbacks because the weather's been so awful. We've had to miss a few meetings, but we're 75% done, and the only part we need to really finish up on is the hopper and the blender and the feeder to the shooter. But right now we have an intake, a long wide intake with polycord, and we use the Bainbot wheels for our shooter, but also our feeder from the hopper into the shooter. And our blender, we have a plywood blade, and we have a climber that's just the basic winch climber that uses Velcro.
So what are you guys using for your shooter? What motors are you guys using there?
We just have a direct-driven sim to 2 side-by-side 3 7/8 Bainbot wheels.
Okay. And where are you looking at shooting from?
Our tests were from the hopper and a few feet back from the hopper, and after testing with our plywood prototypes, we got around 85-90% accuracy.
Wow. Is that awesome. Is that a real 85-90%, or is that a pit scouting 85-90%?
No, it's
I gotta ask.
It took a lot of time, and we completely reformed our shooter at the beginning of week 3. We originally had an 8-inch pneumatic tire, but we weren't happy with it, and then we changed it to the Bainbot wheels, and it was quite the difference.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's phenomenal. Here, are we going to see an autonomous mode that might be going over that hopper then?
Possibly. We'll probably have a autonomous mode worked out so we can get that 40 kPa in auto.
That's awesome, man. That's very exciting. I know all of us are very excited to see how BERT does again this year. You guys ended up on the top 25 last year, and I know all of us have pretty high aspirations for you. So good luck to you guys. Anything you want to talk about before we let you go?
You'll see us at the North Shore District event, week 3, and the Pine Tree District event, week 5. Hopefully District Champs, and hopefully at World Champs in St. Louis.
There you go.
All right, Kevin. Good luck to you guys, and good luck to Bert. You guys have a good one.
All right, you too. Thanks, you.
Kevin.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
All right, I didn't hang up on myself this time.
Good job.
Yay!
Yeah.
Jerry got it open.
Yeah. So, all righty. I don't think we have any questions for today at all. So we'll move on from there.
All right, well, so let's check in with Kristine, who's been working very hard on another awesome robot. So let's take a look at that.
Hey.
You got for us, Kristine?
Oh, I love it.
Almost done with the color. This robot is very gray compared to the last robot I drew.
You didn't take my suggestion to put rainbow colors in?
I was debating doing like pink for
Last
Valentine's Day, but I respect this robot too much.
Yes, right. So, yeah, that, man, 971's robot last year. That my all-time favorite robots, not just aesthetically, but just overall performance. I think it's easily a top 5 robot for me. I don't know about you guys.
Oh yeah, unreal.
Love it.
Watching
that too. It's
so that reveal video, man. I was just like, oh, that was like one of those videos you see. Yeah, exactly. Where you're like, game over, we're done. Okay.
It's like, yeah. That's the thing about this, like premiere night or whatever, and these teams. It's like, oh, it like just totally sometimes deflates your whole season. Like you're just like, oh, well, we made some bad choices for our robot this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So while we are finishing up the show, we're going to be giving away this drawing. All you have to do to win is to give us that little follow-up there. We'd appreciate it. It's totally free. And put in the contest phrase, which is #rollout. Kristine, why'd you pick that one? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I mean, this robot is a real-life Transformer, and the new Transformers movie is coming out, and I felt it was appropriate. So
roll out.
Yeah. So chat, once again, if you want to win, just start spamming rollout. You can spam as much as you want. You only get one entry, but we'll yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Nik Cousins is not allowed to win ever again. That's that's the new rule. So yeah, start spamming that. We'll take an entry in just a little bit for that.
Yeah, how does Nik? That's so funny.
We rigged the show last time. You missed it.
Oh, I did, I guess. Yeah, where was I? Working?
And then I saw a picture. Then I saw a picture of his robot. I'm like, why did he win? I was very, very disappointed.
It's like when Jim and Pam win the Employee of the Month.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so kind of moving on. Thanks, Kristine, for doing that. It's very cool. I love it. It's a big, fantastic. And also a big thanks to Ben Martin from 225 TechFire for being our wonderful guest tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's been great talking to you. So, we kind of talk about it a little bit. So, just overall progress of 225. What's kind of your guys' goal here for the next week and a day, in several minutes, with 225, and where can people find out more about you guys?
Sure. Goal for the next week and a day, I would say, is get it bag ready. Our practice or our comp bot's more ahead this year than it was last year. So, there's probably going to be a little bit less of a scramble there. I guarantee you we'll be shooter tuning from now until like week 3. There's no way that's not going to happen. But yeah, just getting the different piece parts together, get it all set up and ready to go. Yeah.
What's your weight looking like right now? A lot of people I've talked to, weight's not.
Way under. That's a personal question.
We're way under.
Way under.
We might legitimately be less than 100 pounds. It's crazy.
I don't think we're that low. Yeah. Again, I'm not actually there. I'm just kind of like, phone support to some extent at this point. But yeah, it's I went back to school, so it's one of those things you can't be there all the time.
Where are you at? Right. Where are you out of right now, then?
Oh, Carnegie Mellon, right now.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Are you doing anything?
Communication studies.
Well, I'm not in the engineering school. I'm in the MBA school, so it's
cool.
It's not quite the same. Siri's here too. So there's a whole Carnegie Mellon group kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like the person who voices Siri.
Yeah, like Siri from 1640. Yeah.
The Siri.
Yeah, the Siri. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. Where are we at here?
Where can we find out more about TechFire?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that part. Okay, yeah. Go to techfire225.org. It's pretty easy. Yeah, and there's a Facebook page and Twitter and all that fun stuff, but you could just go to our website.
And let's see, where are they competing? Are you going to attend any of their districts this year?
We always go to Chestnut Hill, and we're going to Montgomery this year because we never go to anything before week 3.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're like the opposite of our earlier team, 50-36.
Yeah, the robot's never done before week 2. Yeah.
So are you going to be going to any of their events? You're just going to hop on 276?
Yeah.
76?
I'm not going personally. I'm flying out to CIR. And I'll go to Worlds. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to catch up for sure then out there, man.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's do that.
Cool. Thanks, man.
So just a reminder, I want to again plug that premiere night. It's just such an awesome way to get your robot out there and your team out there in front of 20,000 views. So you can find details now on firstupdatesnow.com on Chief Delphi. We'd love to have you call in during the show and get your team organized like Mike was saying earlier, and have an awesome party and celebrate the end of build season with the rest of the FRC community.
Absolutely. All right, let's do that drawing for the art and see who's going to win it. I did mark Nik Cousins as ineligible for this contest. That's going to be a joke for the whole year now.
Yeah.
And our winner.
Oh, get out of here!
Who is that? It's going to be Pauna time. Who is that,
guys? I know. Yeah.
Is it?
It is Paula.
It's Paula Tasky?
Yeah.
This is rigged.
This is so.
If that is Paula, congratulations. If it's not, congrats whoever you are. Please send me a message with your. It is Pauline. Okay. We kept calling her Paula. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Well, congrats, Pauline. Yeah. Shoot me or Kristine your info. Yeah, we just need the mark. Anybody we know is going to be ineligible for
I'm just going to start ripping them up when people we know win. As a punishment.
We need to make an emoticon that is that is just a rigged emoticon.
Rigged.
Yes, that's going to be the. I'll give it the Caltran. If you could design that for us, we'll get that up there. Yeah. Caltran's the one like it's not fair. Caltran, you're a subscriber. You got 2 times as many votes as everybody else, so I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna be. There's a mute.
The episode Rig Part 2. That's the name of the show episode. Absolutely. All right. So don't forget that you can follow First Updates Now on all of Fun shows, including Recap under First Updates Now. If you like the show or just want more First Robotics in your life, please just give us a follow. Or if you like to, even better, we'd really love you if you subscribe on Twitch, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll have some of our archived footage. I'd like to thank the following people actually for signing up for the show. So thank you very much over the last couple of days. Our followers, we had Becker Roars following and subscribing actually. Huel1234 following. FRC Captain FRC 133 Captain Carolyn Maines is following. 2CC cheered us 101 bits. Zachary Fed followed first. FRC Leaks 12. All right, that person's followed. Destroyed is followed. Huge thank you to I'm going to mispronounce this. Kurosh K 1241 for subscribing. Thank you so much, and kudos to you. Thanks for joining Fun Nation. Rhythm 0865 following, and Ethan Elliott 123 for following. BMAR 1257 for following. Nicholas 701 for following, and Skyhawk 11 for following. Thank you so much for joining to be a Fun fan, or if you're subscribed, being part of Fun Nation. Subscribers, we are going to be looking for your feedback very soon. What we can do is we implement some of our new benefits. We're going to want your feedback to make sure that it's what you want out of being a member of Fun Nation. So thank you so much for being part of it. And don't worry about the contest being rigged. We'll give you more shots later on. Kristine, you'll be back, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So what's going on with you and the Neutrons right now?
So we've been lucky enough to have a nice 5-day weekend here. Boston Public Schools got shut down last Thursday, Friday, and then again today on Monday. So our students have basically been living here and, going home to eat dinner. So we've made a lot of really good progress. We're really excited for this coming Saturday. We're going to the Week 0 scrimmage up in New Hampshire, hosted by Team 811. And I'm really excited to see all the teams that will be there. It'll be really cool to be able to see a real field because First brings their field there to kind of do testing. So
yeah, it will be.
We're pretty pumped for that. I don't know if they're webcasting it, but if they are, it's definitely something everybody should tune into. The real field will be there, and a bunch of headquarters staff are there, and they're always like super helpful. So pretty pumped for that.
Is that considered the week 0 event, like the official one, the official unofficial one?
I think so. They also host one in Suffield, Connecticut, but it doesn't have a legitimate field. But that was like the original New England week 0 scrimmage.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, we'll take a look at that, and good luck to you. And where can people find more about your drawings if they want to check those out?
Yeah, definitely. So you can head onto Facebook and search for Wordplay All Day, or go to etsy.com/shop/Wordplay All Day. I know that Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and almost all of us will be with the people we love most, our robotics team. So there's some great first theme Valentines for only $2, and you can print off as many as you want. And this drawing will be up in the next 24 to 48 hours for $2 as well, along with the 254 drawing we did last time.
Yeah, I picked one up for my girlfriend. I think it was the roses are red, banners are blue, and that one sounds right.
So, that's really cool.
Yeah, so make sure you check that out as well. Alrighty.
Peace camps. Now there are 2.
Don't forget as well, we also do have our new t-shirts available on our website thanks to 2 Pencil Designs, and you can check those out at firstupdatesnow.com. Big thank you to our producer, Nik Olsen, working behind the scenes and doing a great job presenting a show. Even if he does have his Slack volume on, that's okay. We don't mind. If you'd like to leave First Updates Now feedback, shoot us an email at feedback@firstupdatesnow.com. On behalf of myself, Justin, Mike, Nick, and Kristine, I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you once again to Ben Martin for being our fantastic guest, and thank you to all of our moderators in chat, and thank you to all of our subscribers. We'll see you next time on First Updates Now. Talk to you then.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
This has been a First Updates Now production. Visit us at firstupdatesnow.com or find us under First Updates Now on Facebook or Twitter.